All right, we're at the 2015 Intermarque Car Show in Osseo, Minnesota. I'm standing in front of Paul Haga's 1981 DeLorean DMC12. They're just such neat cars. John DeLorean got himself into some trouble, but he had some neat ideas, and I just think stainless steel is a wonderful thing. It's a Giugiaro body, design body, and built in Ireland. A funny story, but Paul, how long have you had it? Tell us a little bit about your ownership experience. Thanks for bringing it out.
You bet. I got it in 2007. I'm the third owner. I bought it with a little over 9,000 miles on it. When I got it, it still had the original tires on it. Everything was original. And
where did you find it when you bought it?
I got it out in Watertown, Minnesota, at Hooked on Classics. And it had sat there for about 20 years. The prior owner had just consigned it, and nobody wanted to buy it. So it sat collecting dust for 20 years.
So what kind of recommissioning did you have to do? I assume you had to go through the brakes and through the whole car. What did you have to do to it? Because now it has 16,000 miles on it, which means you've driven it 7, yes. Which is pretty impressive. I like guys who drive their cool cars.
About 1,000 a year. I try to put on it. After about 6 months of ownership, the engine completely hatched out of it, and it was due to sitting for so long. There's a valley issue with it where one of the oil galleries punched through the block and emptied 5 quarts of oil on the ground as I was going down the road. So it has it's called a Stage 2 engine in DeLorean world, and they juiced the engine up a little bit more than the original stock engine. It's about 200 horsepower. High performance cams, ignition. They port and polish and do all sorts of crazy stuff. But I had to put the new engine in to get it to run. And while I had it up on blocks, I did practically everything else. So,
well, it looks really, really nice. So I'm guessing that from a generational standpoint, I see there's a flux capacitor in it now. It's got the hoverboard and a funky pair of shoes and all the Marty McFly stuff. Were you is the movie Back to the Future where you became aware of these, or were you aware of them before?
No, my first exposure to it was in '85 when my dad took me to the theater to see Back to the Future, and I saw it back off the truck and wanted one ever since. I don't want to deck it out like a time machine, because I think the original car is classic, but I buy all the toys. I like the toys, and they're a good conversation piece for the people that love the movie.
Well, the girl who taught me swimming lessons when I was about 6 or 7 years old, which would have been in the early '80s, would pick me up in one of these and drive me to the swimming pool. So I was aware of them before that movie, but it is such an iconic sort of '80s movie, and that's what people think of when they see them now. It really looks gorgeous, and these were not known to be great performance cars when they were new. That was certainly John DeLorean wanted it to be a great performance car, but I think the Stage 2 engine probably adds quite a bit. My guess is this is much more fun to drive today than when it was brand new.
Now it drives more like its cousins, the Lotuses, down the road or down the street, and it's a lot more fun to drive, a lot more pep and zip, and it's not. I mean, it's a 1981 car. It's not going to be the fastest car that you've ever driven, but it's a lot faster than it was when I first bought it.
Well, it is gorgeous, and I've got to believe that you stop traffic and everything else. The gull-wing doors are, I'm really into Mercedes-Benz, and gull-wing doors on any other car than a 300 SL don't always work, but this is just a wonderful example. And thank you so much for bringing it out.
Thank you.